everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And today we have some special guests for a very special episode of MeowMix, the podcast. We've got Jake Dempster. You may recognize him as Jerry's relations. And we've got Justin Leap, one of our good friends, both huge Panthers fans. And Jerry, why don't you tell the fine folks what we're going to be doing today?
So today we're going to do a little all-time Panthers fantasy draft. It's the off season, so we thought, I can't talk today, and we have guests. Steven came up with this great idea. We're going to draft players from the Panthers history and build out our own little fantasy team here. And then we're going to ask you guys to vote on who had the best one. Now, it's going to be a snake fantasy draft. ChatGPT gave me the great pleasure of being the number one overall pick.
Yes, very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Rigged.
Hey, you were the one who suggested it. I
Totally
literally
not
messaged you like less than a minute later.
I'd like to see that prompt, Jerry. I need to see that prompt.
I did.
I need a video of this selection process.
Right.
Now, before we get started, I did have a question for you, gentlemen. Have you guys seen the Carolina Panthers Blueprint TV show thing that they have been going through on YouTube and their website?
I keep seeing it pop up on Facebook, but I haven't watched it yet. I love those videos, but I just, for some reason, haven't watched it quite yet.
I have not watched it either. It's same deal. I keep seeing them pop up like on my YouTube. I just haven't gotten around to watching them yet. But like every time like Camp Confidential comes out, I always watch those. So
it's like the evolution of that. It's great. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I guess the third dropped today, and I didn't realize I haven't watched it yet.
I thought they only had 2 out. Like I watched 2, and I didn't realize that the third dropped today. Okay, I'm gonna go watch that after this. You should too.
It's good.
It's a great. Their media puts out some great stuff, and I just want.
It's like NFL Films quality. It's really good.
Yeah, it's Hard Knocks light because they're not gonna get the nitty gritty. They're gonna be everything's positive, but it looks great.
It's curated. Yeah, the first episode is not as good as the second. I thought the second was really good. And a couple of the new additions that we brought in, you get kind of behind the scenes look at those guys, and I like a few of them a lot more than I did just from their stats and knowing who they were. So yeah, really excited. You guys should all check that out. So all right, Jerry.
Well,
ready?
With the number 1 pick in the all-time Carolina Panthers NFL draft, Jerry is picking Cameron Jarrell Newton. I need some clapping.
Shocker.
Come on.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Mm-hmm.
He always seems to go first overall, huh?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Shock. No, that's a good pick. Was he everyone's number 1?
The unanimous.
I think
the
he's
unanimous
definitely up there for sure.
I mean, there was like 2 good quarterbacks, and the rest are like a couple decent, and then it drops off hardcore. And
I mean,
let's be honest,
that's most of the
former MVP. I mean,
You got the MVP,
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that pick.
No.
All right. Well, I got the second pick here, and unfortunately, number 1 on my board is off the board now. So, it's hard to do this because, as we were kind of talking before the podcast, pickings get real slim real fast. Especially at certain positions. And I feel like quarterback is one of those positions. So I think I'm going to go with Jake Delhomme as the number 2 pick. Go ahead and get my quarterback. I mean, there's an argument to be made from a strictly passing perspective that Jake and Cam are pretty close, if not Jake a little better. His touchdown to interception ratio is better. His completion percentage is right there. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with Jake. Go ahead and knock the quarterback off the board here for me.
This is not how I thought this was going to start.
Really? This is exactly how I thought it was going to start.
I guess I was thinking more of a traditional fantasy But I definitely knew that Cam would be like one of the first two.
Yeah. And it's, you know, we could think of this different ways. I'm thinking of it as just trying to like to build the best Panthers team. But even if we are just looking at fantasy, I feel like Jake's a pretty good pick. I mean,
yeah. No, it's like you said, there's kind of like that drop off after him.
Yeah. All right, Jake, you've got the third pick.
Well, like you said, my top two prospects for quarterbacks were already off the board as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take number 3. I'm going to go with Steve. I'm going to go ahead and go with Steve Berline as my quarterback.
There you go.
This is like a real NFL draft.
Oh, you guys messed up. Is this PPR rules?
No, this is building your best roster you can.
Oh, okay.
Which actually, hey, some people may not know this, but Steve Berline is actually the all-time passing leader in a season for the Panthers.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Steve Berline, very underrated. Very underrated. That's a good pick.
Now, number 4 overall, Justin, go ahead and pick Jimmy Clausen.
I feel like I can get him next round.
Luckily, it sneaks back to you, so you're right.
I'm gonna buck the trend because, like you said, there's a bit of a drop off right there. I mean, I could go Kerry Collins, or I could just kind of wait around for one of those middle of the pack piddling guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and knock Steve Smith as my
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my number 1 non-quarterback.
Right.
And rightfully so.
Good pick. Yeah, you've got a good spot here at number 4, being able to kind of go
back to back.
Number 1.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the non-quarterback, and I'm gonna go with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was my number 1 running back, especially adding that catching ability of over 100 receiving yards 2 years.
Right.
I mean,
hard to argue with either of those picks for sure.
And he is a human super flex also. He could pass it, catch it, run it.
He might be your starting quarterback. I mean, you never know.
I'm just saying, maybe I didn't buck the trend of quarterback.
Justin just plans on running a wishbone.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait till you see who I pick next.
I've seen worse offenses.
Yeah.
On this franchise.
Yeah. We did mention Jimmy Clausen here, right?
Yeah, maybe last year. All right, snaking back to Jake.
Moose! I'm taking Musa Muhammad
wow.
as my number 1 receiver here since Smitty is already off the board.
I was really hoping he would get to me. I'm not going to lie.
Arguably, obviously Smitty's number 1, but I would say probably there's a battle for who's maybe number 2. You could argue DJ Moore, you could argue Moose. I would probably lean Moose just by that much.
Well, he's got the second most receiving yards in Panthers history, knocking on the door of 10,000. He's right there. 50 touchdowns as a Panther, so that's can't go wrong with that pick.
A lot more touchdowns than DJ, that's for sure.
That's a fact.
That is true. Yeah, that was the one knock on him. But all right, I guess it's back to me. Man, you know, I think I'm gonna go a little off script here. I'm gonna go Greg Olsen.
I knew that was exactly.
Yeah, I knew that was coming too.
I mean, I'm looking for players where I have matchup advantages here. And at tight end, I mean, outside of Olsen, in terms of, especially if you're looking from a fantasy perspective, he's kind of the only tight end that we've had that could be a TE1, I think. So
I actually made on my list of tight ends, I put him as 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Hey, Cam Newton had him as his 1, 2, and 3 receiver for a few years.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
It's my turn now. I am going to go Jonathan Stewart. Chase 2. Going to go ahead and grab him in my second round.
Good pick. Good pick.
And with my great running back. Panthers all-time leading rusher. Pair him with Cam. I've got a nice 1-2 there. And then, since it sneaks back to me, I'm going to go ahead and grab the only other receiver who's been dominant, DJ Moore. I mean, I looked at the all-time receiving seasons. The first 12 are Moose, Steve Smith, and DJ Moore. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to go ahead and grab those guys, or grab them. It is.
Yeah,
what it is.
that's it gets real ugly real fast at wide receiver after those guys. Jeez.
I mean, the fact that Kelvin Benjamin is our 5th leading receiver is like absolutely absurd. Like,
I mean,
the Bears?
Jeez, I kind of put it like that.
I kind of joked that he's going to get picked in this draft, but
I think
might actually get picked in this draft.
If we're doing 8 rounds, he absolutely is getting picked.
Yeah. Oh God.
He might be starting.
Yeah, he may be. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go with D'Angelo as my RB1. I mean, I feel like just as if you're looking at top tier Panthers players, is he the last one to go off the board? I mean,
no, there's one or two more.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go with D'Angelo. I know, we've got a bit of a interesting relationship with D'Angelo since he's left, but when he was here, he was pretty good. So
yeah, and I don't think that's really with the fans. I think that's more with the organization and everything. So
yeah, and you know what? He has valid reasons, I think, too.
I do too.
Yeah. All right, back to Jake.
I am going to go ahead and take my tight end as well. I'm going to take Wesley Walls.
Yeah, that's one of the greats that I knew was going to be off the board.
Yeah, that was who I was going after next for sure.
I'm actually surprised he made it that far, to be honest with you.
I
almost grabbed him as my flex. I almost grabbed
Greg Olsen was what, 7 or something like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's not. I don't know. That's not too shabby. All right, so it's on me.
It's on you.
All right, so we're already getting to that depleted.
Right. Kelvin Benjamin, here we come.
Right. Okay, so
now we do have the option for O-line and kicker now.
All right, so I'm gonna go with something that might be controversial. You might think it's a reach, but I'm gonna go with Steven Davis.
Oh no!
I like it. Yeah.
No, I was hoping he would come back around to me. That was.
I was contemplating him between him and Wesley Walls.
Yeah. See, now all the greats are gone, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he's one of besides D'Angelo, I think he's the only person to have 1,400 yards with us.
Yep.
And
no, he is.
Yeah.
He averaged 4.5 yards per carry that year. I mean.
Yeah. Took us to a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Ah, man, that makes me sad. That was really who I was hoping for.
All right. Well, hey, we're through three rounds here, Jerry. It looks like our time is running short. Should we reset to take a quick break and come on back?
Yeah, once I pull up the OBS so I can take a break.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
We will be right back. And we are back after a brief intermission, and Justin couldn't figure out his computer and couldn't talk.
There's always one.
I'm so dramatic.
I really wish I would have got a screenshot of you looking at your computer, man. It was like
very
you had
intense.
A pencil in your mouth, like intense face look, like.
I mean, really, it's his pick, and he was just trying to find some more time. He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I mean, the greats just all went off the board with Steven Davis, Wesley. Well, yeah, I mean that was the last bit of them.
Yep. So top of the 4th round, Justin's pick.
I don't know what I should do here. I feel like I have options, and none of them are great.
None of them are great. None of them are great.
I mean, I feel like I have to go quarterback or tight end here with my running back set. So
go ahead.
I think I'll go with Kerry Collins.
All right.
I would have waited till last round on that because no one else was taking a quarterback.
Hey, I didn't want you guys stashing him on the bench. just to sabotage me.
Because after him, you're looking at Chris Winkie, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold. Like, there are no good options after that.
No.
None.
No. I mean, but
None.
and if somebody used him as a flex, you would have been up the creek.
All right, back to Jake.
Oh boy, I'm going to go ahead and start with the offensive line here. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers 2008 offensive line.
Ooh.
Arguably the Panthers' greatest offensive line to date.
There you go.
Jake Delhomme was sacked the least. I don't have the exact stats right in front of me, but it was I believe Jake Delhomme had the lowest amount of sacks that year.
That is that's not where I thought the first O-line would be. But I like it. O-line. All right. Well, I'm going to go with the 2015 O-line. Took us to a Super Bowl. Not the you have your superstars on that O-line exactly, but they played really well together. They did a good enough job to get us there. And I'm going to go with the 2015 O-line.
All right, so it's my turn. Oh, okay, so what do I have left? I am going to go Anthony Johnson, running back, Carolina Panthers. I mean, he's fifth in single season rushing. He's fifth. In 1996, he ran for 1,120 yards. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest average of 3.7, but we knew back then it was just a bunch of cloud of dust. So I'm taking him. That's it.
Wow.
He was one of those guys that I had to look up. I was like, I don't quite remember him.
Yeah.
But he does have the stats, so.
Yeah.
It's really going to show my age right here. I've never even heard of him.
I don't think you're going to be the only one there, Jake.
No, and I'm going back old school again. Receiving, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Mark Carrier.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. Yeah. He was on my list.
Yep.
Nice job.
Give me a second. I can pull up some fun stats. He has 1,000 yards here, and let's be honest, for receivers, there's not much. So any receiver with 1,000 yards, I was like, I'm going to try to get them.
Yeah.
Mine's Kelvin Benjamin, because I can't afford that, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 meals a day on my team.
Yeah.
You don't want him weighing down the morale of your fantasy team.
Or just weighing down the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I am going to go old school as well. And I'm going to choose a guy who I think, had the injury bug not gotten to him, would be considered one of the best Panthers wide receivers of all time. And I'm going to go with Patrick Jeffers. Patrick Jeffers, who in 1999 had 101 targets, 63 receptions, 1,082 yards, and 12 touchdowns. That was kind of his breakout year. That was his first year with the Panthers. And honestly, I think he would have been a really, really good receiver. He was strong and big and just got hurt. Never was the same again. So Patrick Jeffers.
I actually watched a YouTube video where they mentioned Patrick Jeffers as one of the best one-hit wonders for a season for receivers. And they talked about that injury kind of really derailing him after he finally broke out. Because he was, I think, with the Rams before that, something like that. And
Dallas.
Dallas?
And Denver. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, sorry.
Nope, no worries. All right, back to Jake.
I got to take a running back at some point, right?
No,
you don't.
I guess you don't have to, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take Deshaun Foster as my RB1. Not the greatest Panthers running back. He had a couple 800-yard seasons, a few touchdowns, but I mean, I don't believe running backs don't win championships. So I think you can wait on the running backs a little bit.
He does have one of the greatest highlights of all time.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yes.
Fun fact.
That was against Philly, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Dive into the end zone.
Yeah. Fun fact.
That they show that all the time.
My first Carolina Panthers jersey was a rookie Deshaun Foster's jersey. It was a number 20, and the next year he changed his number to 26 or something like that, and I was so upset.
Well, that's never happened to you, though, before, right, Jerry? You've never bought a jersey, and then the player changed his number?
We are trying to be YouTube friendly, so I'm just going to censor my own hand here.
Well, did you guys see the two jerseys that my cousin got me? It was DJ Moore and Brian Burns. And they're both the old number.
Yeah, classic. Throwback. All right, it's the back-to-back picks for Justin.
Oh, we're to me again? I think I'm going to go oh boy. Got running backs. I think I'm going to go with Chris Mangum at tight end. Or no, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Mangum.
Probably the best tight end left.
Yeah. Then after that, oh man. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna go. Oh man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Kelvin Benjamin.
There you go.
And that's why I took Mark Carrier, because I could not bring myself to spit that guy's name out.
Either. Yeah.
What if he's like an avid listener of this show and he's just going to be so disappointed?
Kelvin Benjamin? No, because we make fat jokes on him all the time. So,
I mean,
he
fifth most receiving yards.
And then he was like, screw these guys.
Panthers history. And 18 touchdowns, I mean,
his question coming out of college was what if he wanted it up. I mean, he had a great rookie season, and then he ballooned up. He didn't want it. It wasn't. That was it.
Didn't want it. Yep. All right, back to Jake.
All right, I'm taking wide receiver 2 here. I'm going to go Brandon LaFell as wide receiver 2.
Ooh, okay.
167 receptions for 2,300 yards and 13 touchdowns in 4 seasons with the Panthers.
Man, you have some big receivers. Brandon LaFell and Muhsin Muhammad.
Hey, I'm
not a ton of speed there, but
he has speed on his running back
big
position
guys.
for Deshaun.
He's going to flex Ted Ginn. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
who updated that?
There we go. All right, back to me. Yeah, it's let's see. So I need a running back. I need a wide receiver. I think I might go old school again at wide receiver. I'm gonna go with another guy who I feel like could have been good, had injuries. Nah, going a different direction. Can't bring myself to go that guy. Give me Robbie Anderson. I'm gonna take the one Robbie Anderson season. 2020, 1,096 yards, only 3 touchdowns, but by far his best season. And I feel like of all the guys left, he's one of the better wide receivers out there. So
yeah,
I don't know that person's. Who is that?
That's who he was when he was with the Panthers, Jerry, and that's the exercise.
Oh, you mean Chosen? Chosen is his name.
Yes, Chosen Robbie Anderson. So that's what I'm going.
Isn't that Cam's son's name too?
Yeah. But I think Cam's son was first name Chosen.
The first,
I cannot say I've ever seen someone change their first name 3 times in less than a year. Because he went from Robbie with a Y to Robbie Robbie.
Right.
Then he went to Chosen Anderson.
Yep. Classic Robbie.
I was gonna say Steven takes him with a 1-year contract so he can perform.
Yes, only a 1-year contract. In fact, both of my guys are 1-year contract guys. All right. Back to you, Jerry.
Oh, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Oh. I'm going to go ahead and take my offensive line, mostly because I can't think of the other position I want to take right now, which is 2009 Carolina Panthers offensive line, having 2 1,000-yard rushers, giving up a sack percentage of 6%, which is one of the best that this Panthers team has. You put them in front of Cam Newton, you're going to have a good time. That's my opinion.
That's a good pick. Yeah. And good reasoning with the rushers. I like it.
I mean, my goal was to get 2 stud running backs. Unfortunately, it doesn't look that great. So should I go tight end now, or should I deep back into the running back well for my 1,000 offensive line, which I am doing? Deontay Foreman. He is actually ranked 9th overall in most rushing yards for the Carolina Panthers in one season. And let's be honest, guys. He didn't really play the first 6-7 games.
Right.
He averaged 4.5 yards per carry. I'm taking that.
Interesting pick.
He's my flex.
Yeah, he wasn't on my list.
But I didn't put him on the list either,
Yeah.
just for brevity purposes. But it counts. I mean, he had a hell of a year.
Oh man, this is. I sort of want to go tight end so I can force Jerry into taking a particular tight end who I'd love to see him take.
Oh, you don't have to force him into anything.
I really think that
I have 2 tight ends.
There's not a lot of guys left.
So I'm good.
Yeah. What do I need? I need a running back. Oh man. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go with another old school player here. I'm gonna go Tamanga Biakabatuka as my running back. He's 6th all time in Panthers rushing, which makes him 5th all time in the running back category. Never had 1,000-yard season in terms of just rushing, but he did have 1,000 total yards. Well, no, actually didn't. It was close to 1,000 total yards in 2000. But a good receiver as well. He had 77 catches with us. The only team he played for was the Carolina Panthers. He just, again, another guy that got hurt and couldn't really stay healthy. So, but good talent. And honestly, with the guys left, that's about the best I could do. So, Tamanga Biakabatuka.
I like it. So that's back to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back to you.
No, I'm up.
Oh,
sorry, Jake. Yep, back to Jake.
I like how Jake was like, no.
No, hold on a minute. No. Hold on.
You're not going to take the guy I'm thinking about. I don't think so.
I think someone actually called it last round. I'm actually surprised he's still not here. I am going to flex Ted Ginn here. Was he the greatest receiver? No, but he is that Swiss Army knife. You know, he can score touchdowns. He can catch the ball. I know he had a little bit of the case of the dropsies, but
hey, he's a deep
and he could score you a return touchdown too. So
yeah. That's a good pick.
I'm flexing Ted Ginn here.
Made some big time catches for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not knocking that one. Right around now is a good top spot for him, especially considering you have Moose and LaFell. Neither one can really stretch the field. You throw Ted Ginn out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can make another argument with like Curtis Samuel, like a guy like that can stretch the field, but also is a Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually pissed about that Robbie Anderson pick. I didn't even think about that. Chosen Anderson. I'm sorry.
He had one good season for us, but I'll take it.
Contract.
All right, Justin, time to take Curtis Samuel. Is that where you're going?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So we are doing a kicker, right?
Yeah.
We are doing a kicker. Yep.
Okay, so I am gonna go the greatest that we've ever had, John Casey.
You'll never win a Super Bowl, but
that's okay.
He will make.
They're overrated.
True. Classic Panthers mentality.
And then I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this, but as my flex, I'm gonna take Mike Tolbert.
Oh, damn!
I
That was
had
gonna be
him
my
on
next
my.
pick. That was gonna be my next pick.
I'm thinking I got CMC and I pair him with Tolbert. That's a combo right there.
It's a great combo. Good pick. Real good pick.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally you. I was one pick away. You stole it from me, Justin.
Well, now who are you going to take, Jake?
Well, I guess I'll take a kicker. I'm going to take Graham Gano. I will never forget. Jerry and I were at this game, 2018 week. What week was that? Week 5, week 6, something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Graham Gano makes the 63-yard winning field goal to win the game.
I was at that game too.
I will never forget that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falling on the concourse and stuff. Oh yeah, that was a crazy game. Crazy ending.
Oh man. Well, let's see.
Got mark my Graham Gano and John Casey on my list, so I know don't have to pick them.
I know who Steven is gonna take.
Yeah, well, you want to help me out? Because
you sly dog you.
No, I'm not gonna go Joey Sly as much as I want to. Man, it's just
it's all right. Hey, we
rough.
know who Jerry's gonna take at tight end, so
I don't think you do.
I know who I want it to be.
Can we all guess? Like,
I'm gonna go Curtis Samuel. I think for my flex, just because he's got he's got the rushing abilities, got the receiving abilities. Actually, has a pretty high catch percentage with us, and another guy that just the injury bug never could stay healthy.
All right, is it back to me?
Back to you.
For tight end, because I have to go back to back and finish off my drafting here. Tight end, I'm going to go ahead and pick. Devin Funchess should have been a tight end. I'm picking him as a tight end.
No.
Okay, no. I wasn't going to do that, but that was a fun thought I had in my head. I am going to choose Jeremy Shockey.
Ah, good one. Good one.
He didn't have the best season here, but with Greg Olsen, I mean, he was good. He had like 400 or 500 yards, and he was splitting time. On my team, he's not splitting time. He's going to get there, and he's also a road grading blocker for my my running backs and Cam Newton. So,
yeah, no, that's a good. I honestly completely forgot about him. Like I thought about him earlier today, but as we were doing this, completely forgot about him. So good pick,
Jerry. I thought you were going LeVar Ball there.
Oh, you know what's funny is I looked at Ian Thomas because Ian Thomas has one of the highest catch percentages for this team over Greg Olsen, Wesley Walls and stuff. He has like a 65 or 68%.
I wish you would have. I wish you would.
And he has one of the higher receiving yards total for tight ends as well right now, which shocked me.
Which is shocking.
But I couldn't do it. So
that's what you did. You were looking at Ian Thomas, you're like, man, that's shocking. Shocky.
No, guys, I pulled up receiving yards and sorted it by tight ends. And, yeah, that's what I was doing.
It was the hangover meme with all the equations going on.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, Jerry, last pick. You need a flex.
I already got a flex.
Do you?
Yeah, I need a kicker.
Oh, you need a kicker. I
mean, sorry. I could take another flex and
no. You need a kicker. My bad.
Eddie Pinheiro. He has the highest field goal percentage of any Panther player.
He was going to be my pick.
That's not true. Todd Sauerbrunn was 1 of 1.
Well, okay. Legit field goal kicker.
I'm just saying.
And my pick is Todd Sauerbrunn. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, I was going to take Eddie P, but he is not available anymore. So, man, Zane had a good run with us. Only 1 year, but 90% field goal, 95% extra points. I think I got to go Zane. So I'm going to go Zane Gonzalez as my kicker.
Yeah, those were my 4 kickers. I mean,
Yeah.
No Joe Nedney.
I mean, I wanted to go Joey Sly pretty badly, but
I mean, he could have.
the numbers just don't.
The numbers
just don't
are
work.
awful. How did he stick around?
They just don't work.
Yeah, but have you seen him in an Under Armour shirt?
He looks great.
Dude is beastly.
He looks great. Interesting decision here coming for Jake. Here's your final pick.
I know. Hey, need some beef at the running back position. I'm taking Hoof, Brad Hoof.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm so glad he made somebody's team.
You know, I think he's still in High Point too. Like, I think he's a coach or something like that. I heard he still hangs around. I guess that was a few years ago, but maybe someone should reach out to him, try to get him on the show.
I was reading up on Tamunga Biaka Batuka, and he lives in Matthews and owns a bunch of Bojangles, apparently.
That was the second reason I picked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I hear they're trying to get out of the chicken business, so I'm not sure that's a good business decision for Bojangles.
Yeah, that's what the CEO said. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be the CEO.
Right.
Are you sure this isn't like an IHOB situation?
Well, he's getting a lot of publicity, so I don't know, maybe. All right, final pick of the draft. Justin, you need an O-line.
Okay, so I have not delved deep into the advanced analytics of O-lines.
What? God, what do you do with your spare time if you're not doing that?
I know.
I feel like there's a good one left.
Oh, there's a couple good ones.
So the one I'm picking is 2013. The only thing I know is that Jordan Gross and Khalil both made the Pro Bowl that year. So I was like, hey, solid choice, I think.
Yeah. All right. I was thinking the 03 O-line.
Oh, yeah, damn.
Yeah,
Oh, well. But they're disqualified because of roids, right?
We don't talk about it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Come on. So was our punter at the time. So, allegedly. Yeah, I had 2009, 2015, 2011, and 2003 as my lines. 2008, Jacob, is right next to 2009, so that doesn't surprise me at all that you grabbed them. I was like, oh, oh no, my 2009 1,000 guys are still there.
Yeah, no, I like all these picks. Still on the board are the cheerleaders from the 2003 season. Surprised nobody went with the flex with them, considering how much fun they had at the Super Bowl that year.
Oh yeah.
I think we do need to give a shout out to Jimmy Clausen though, because without him, Cam never would have been possible.
True.
Fact.
Let's see. Funchess did not get picked. Any surprises there?
A little bit.
Rocket Ishmael, I was really close to taking him, but more of a returner.
He just didn't have the stats. That's the problem.
He did have 10 receiving touchdowns, which
he also left here and signed like a 1-year, $17 million contract. So I mean, someone thought something of him.
That was back in the 90s too. That's crazy. Donald Hayes was one I was really considering taking just because I remember how good he looked in that really short amount of time he was healthy and here. I think they nicknamed him the Condor just because he had such a wide catch radius, which I still think is one of the best nicknames Panthers players had. But
Fred Lane had a good season here. He was on my list of possibilities.
Yeah.
I mean, what a horrible ending, but
yeah. Ricky Prohl, wouldn't have been surprised to see him go as a flex or something.
I think there's a couple middling tight ends out there too, like Jeff King. I think you make an argument for, or like
Dante Rosario.
Yeah, Dante Rosario.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what about Nick Goings?
Oh, I met Nick Goings one time.
I met him at Cracker Barrel a couple times.
Yeah.
I met him at Boardwalk Billy's at university before it moved across the street. I mean, guys, I'm showing my age here. When I was like 21, or no, I was underage, but not drinking. And him and D Brown were there drinking because I guess they lived around the university area for smart reasons.
Yeah, good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Ed Dixon might go at tight end.
Ooh, I thought about
especially
him.
like the final tight end. But I see why everyone went with who they went with. So, I mean, who do you guys think, just looking at these teams, kind of has the best team?
I think I tried pulling it up on there and it gave me a blank spreadsheet.
Mm.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, let's just recap it for the listeners here. So Jerry has Cam, Jonathan Stewart, Anthony Johnson as running back 2, DJ Moore, Mark Carrier as wide receivers, Jeremy Shockey as the tight end, 09 offensive line, Deontay Foreman as the flex. I might say that's the best flex. And Eddie Pinheiro as kicker. Jake went with Steve Berline at quarterback, Deshaun Foster, Brad Hoover as running backs. Not the most electric running back tandem there. Moose and LaFell at wide receivers, Wesley Walls at tight end, the 08 line, Ted Ginn as a flex, another good flex.
Yeah.
And then Graham Gano as the kicker. Justin Kerry Collins, CMC Stephen Davis at running back, definitely the best running back duo. Steve Smith, Kelvin Benjamin at wide receiver, Chris Mangum at tight end, 13 line, Tolbert as the flex, and John Casey. And then I got Jake Delhomme, D'Angelo Biakabatuka as running backs, Patrick Jeffers, Robbie Anderson at wide receiver. Yeah. Greg Olson tight end, the 15 line, Curtis Samuel as the flex, and then Zane Gonzalez as the kicker. So I feel like we all have some strengths and a lot of weaknesses on our team.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say I am running the ball nonstop with Jonathan Stewart, Deontay Foreman, and Anthony Johnson. And then Cam can try to hit DJ Moore over the top with Mark Carrier kind of doing that, good route running side. And then Jeremy Shockey just, getting that grinding type of yardage. Then you can look at Jacob. Jacob's going to be just Steve Berline hitting Ted Ginn occasionally over the top, and otherwise he's pounding the rock, or not pounding the rock. He's dipping and dunking to LaFell, Moose, and Wesley Walls.
Yeah, ain't no pounding the rock around here.
A lot of possession, a lot of possession receiving here on Jake's team. But hey, Berline is probably the best that we've had at that, right? Just getting the ball very accurate. I like that combination. My team's just going to be on the injured list the whole time. Like, I don't think we get past week 3.
Yeah, you got some injury concerns for sure.
Like, staying completely healthy the whole season, maybe we're a 7-win team. But
I mean, when you went Biakabatuka and then Curtis Samuel, I was like fearful for
Jeffers.
you.
Patrick Jeffers, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't look great for my guys.
Steven, can you just call your team the all IR team?
Yeah, we're the handicaps.
I mean, Justin
I like Justin's team.
Yeah. Having CMC and Steven Smith, I mean, that gives you so much versatility, especially with Kerry Collins playing play action. Steve Smith, best receiver on the team, obviously. And then you have Kelvin Benjamin. I mean, if you keep him away from the buffet, he can produce.
Yeah.
Hey, he's just the big possession guy. He's just coming in to catch and sit down at the buffet.
He was a Popeye's chicken biscuit away from being a tight end too. From the great Booger McFarland there.
Well, we'll
back in my short stint at Roos Chris, Kelvin Benjamin used to come in all the time. He can put down some steak.
Surprise me. That does not surprise me.
Yeah.
Any restaurant, that would not have surprised me.
He was a nice guy, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Well, we'll put these up on Twitter for everybody to look at and vote on, and we'll see. God, am I going to get like even 5% of the vote? Bad job. Bad job by me.
I do want to say.
I mean, the people that are voting have to be like in their 60s.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
It's also so hard because of the quarterback situation. Like,
yeah. Well, waiting on quarterback was the way to go. So I thought, Justin, you could have waited even longer, but
I could have.
I think spirit of the game, you did the right thing. So, all right. Well, Jerry, I think that's going to do it.
All right. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on our show.
We'll be back at some point. We may do a defensive version of this. We're still kind of talking that through. But as of right now, that's the plan. So we'll be back at some point to do that. If any breaking news happens, we'll be back for that as well.
D-Hop,
so until
sign.
then, yeah, if DeAndre Hopkins signs, that'll definitely be an emergency.
On my list.
Podcast.
I almost drafted him.
Hasn't played a snap, but starts.
There you go.
Well, I thought Steven was going to take Adam Thielen.
Oh, yeah, no, I wish. Yeah, we set up some rules before this that I sort of wish we wouldn't have set up. So that's all I'll say. But until then, and they were my rules, by the way. Until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.
Recording stop.